We never go into a game expecting to lose. We'll all come out ready to play them.
Got to keep building, keep making winning plays, keep doing it together.
Devin Booker puts it in. Tough shot from Booker. Giannis on the follow.
We've been talking about them outworking us. That's the freaking deal. They're outworking.
Devin Booker putting on a show here in the third quarter. It's good. Middleton nails another. Throws it up for Ayton. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. Chris Paul falls down and lost the ball. Middleton inside. He banks it home. The NBA Finals are tied at 2 games apiece. It's a best of 3 now.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby.
What
exactly is it that
people
we do?
What they want.
Jalen, we have a 2-2 NBA Finals. The Milwaukee Bucks took 2 at home, and it was Giannis and Chris Middleton in the fourth quarter that dominated this game. Jalen, what do you think about the Bucks last night?
Well, I can't talk about the Bucks until I set the scene. So I was just sitting there thinking last night, this is my 19th consecutive season covering the NBA Finals for national television. And I've seen a lot over the years. So let me just tell you some of the things that was happening you probably saw on TV but necessarily didn't know what was going down. My guy Chance the Rapper was in the house. My guy Chris Tucker was in the house. Shout to Dave Chappelle. He was in the house. Adam Silver sat down with the Countdown crew. And you know who else was there, Jacoby? Do you know who else was there? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and the Big O were at the basketball game. Dog, this is holy grail to NBA basketball. I was in the building. And the beauty about all of this, now you look out on the floor, I'm like, there's Giannis. I didn't think he was going to play in this series. Oh, wait, he swooped in game 1. He's been terrific the entire time. And how about how he competed defensively? But then in the fourth quarter in particular, it was all about Chris Middleton being the closer. You seen him doing the pick and roll, the snake dribble, keeping his pace, his tempo. You know, he was drafted by the Detroit Pistons in the second round. I've been watching his career and the maturation of it. And Giannis did a terrific job of creating space for him, setting picks for him, and getting them open. Look at that. That's called a pick and pop, everybody. He's not just going one-on-one. That's their offense. And then defensively, how about Drew Holiday? He's kept Chris Paul quiet since game 1. The series started with P.J. Tucker on CP3. They switched that up quick. And since Drew Holiday been on him, it's been lights out, baby. And then also, how about late in the game? And this is why I had to go historic, Jacoby. Did you see the block Giannis had on DeAndre Ayton?
Did I see it?
Hey, dog, let me tell you something. I was, of course, courtside. You know how I do. Shout to the Bucks ownership who showed me love. So I'm sitting down there, Jacoby, and here's the thing. Giannis's help, spin, and recovery was so very athletic, so very incredible that it made me start looking at Kareem like, have I ever seen blocks like that before in the history of the NBA playoffs? And then some came to mind because I want to go historic for you. There's a play, well, 2 plays, where Wilt Chamberlain blocked back-to-back shots by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That happened. How about Tayshaun Prince chase down block against Reggie Miller?
I remember
that happened in the NBA playoffs. What about LeBron James chase down block of Andre Iguodala? So, like, all of those plays, I start thinking, I was like, that was incredible. And at the beginning of the quarter, he got a steal. He got a breakaway dunk. And then later in the game, also, Jacoby, he did a terrific job of getting it in transition and kicking it out in the right corner to Pat Connaughton, who made a 3. Like, these are all dominant plays by Giannis Antetokounmpo. You remember people was questioning, in the previous series, should he go guard KD? He went and did it. Newsflash, nobody's slowing down KD. This is why, and people were questioning this, why was he Defensive Player of the Year if he's not going to lock down? Now, all of a sudden, he give us a historic play like that. The Milwaukee Bucks are playing with terrific momentum after winning 2 games at home.
Giannis didn't have to score 41, 42 points like he did previously in Game 2 and Game 3 because Chris Middleton was the closer. Chris Middleton put up 40 points, but I want to show that block again because let's just look at Giannis's prowess because what he does is he cuts off Devin Booker from driving in the lane and then turns around and blocks the shot. Like, this is a great play from Book. Book threw a great pass right here off the dribble with one hand. Giannis is just everywhere. He cuts off the lane and then blocks the shot. It was such an amazing performance from Giannis, who, again, 26 points, 14 rebounds, but you touched on this too. Giannis turned into a playmaker. He had 8 assists, and in the fourth quarter, he was just looking around like, where's Chris Middleton? How do I get him open? That's basically what he was doing. He's like, do I need to set a screen for him? Do I need to hand off to him? In the fourth quarter, he knew that Middleton was hot, and I always call Middleton Mariano Rivera. He's the closer. He's the closer on this team. It was such a great performance from the Bucks, and Jalen, I'm going to say it. I think the Bucks win the series. I think the Bucks win the series. I think the Bucks win the series. Chris Paul was not himself. Jalen, the same Chris Paul we saw in Game 1 and Game 2, we have not seen since. I think that the Bucks win because Chris Paul is just not himself in this series. What do you think about Chris last night?
I think, man, I played a lot of basketball in my life. 4 years of high school, 3 years of college, 13 years in the league. I'm a dummy. I think that's 20 years. Let me tell you something. Drew Holiday has been on that dude like a straitjacket. I don't care where you play ball at. How about playing pickup? Imagine you at rec, right? And y'all about to bring the ball up, and it's a dude picking you up 94 feet. You like, seriously, man? Is this what we doing right now? You 36 years of age. You done had back-to-back huge games to catapult the Suns into the finals and win Game 1. And then all of a sudden, this dude is taller, more physical, more athletic, fighting through screens, don't flop, contest with both hands, post you up, try to use his body against you. He playing like he's an older brother. Oh, wait, he got brothers in the league. That's how he playing. And so Chris Paul has to be frustrated. He'll find a way to get going, but you got to give Drew Holiday's defense a ton of credit for how he's playing against CP3.
You do, and oftentimes great performances in losses get overlooked, like Giannis in Game 2. We need to celebrate what Book did last night. Booker was absolutely on fire last night on the road, trying to will his team to a win. Book had so many buckets. Can he get them a win in Game 5 when they go back home?
So it was great to see him respond. And now, here's what's kind of becoming a storyline of who about to win it all this year. Is Devin Booker going to be more of a version of the previous game or more of a version of what we saw last night? Is Chris Middleton, the way he performs at home, going to take that show on the road? How about CP3 turning the ball over? I saw CP3 turning the ball over in the fourth quarter.
Bad turnovers too.
No doubt. So they needed Devin Booker to be dominant, and he was. But I was looking up at the scoreboard, Jacoby, and I was like, wait a minute. He the only person in double figures, and it's almost the fourth quarter? It's almost the fourth quarter. He the only player in double figures. And so when he gets his fifth foul, that's when the momentum started to shift for the Milwaukee Bucks. And CP3, again, has to bring it offensively, had to keep the turnovers down. But I'm with you. Let's celebrate the excellence that was the game of Devin Booker. 2 players scoring 40 points on opposing teams in the NBA Finals has only happened a few times. So it was incredible to see him do it in all phases, do it in the post, do it facing up, do it against whoever was guarding him. He was an equal opportunity employer. He was dominant. But you ready for this? That's how the Suns played before CP3 arrived. Let me say that again.
Yep.
That's how the Suns played before CP3 arrived. So it was good when they were in the bubble and they were 8-0, but they're at their best when they're diversifying, when Cam Johnson gets a chance to make shots, when Mikal Bridges gets himself going, who's had 27 in this series, and Jay Crowder, who hit a bunch of threes in the previous games. They got to spread the wealth when they're at their best. And then finally, where's Ayton? When we talking about Giannis, you didn't mention the fact that we ain't seen Ayton. So we talking about Drew Holiday, and we're talking about Giannis. Defensively, locking down members of the big three on the other squad. That's why I feel you're saying that you want to see the Bucks. You think the Bucks are going to possibly go on and win based on those dynamics that are playing out.
Do you remember that coaching moment when Monty Williams pulled Ayton aside on the sideline and told him that he has high expectations for himself, but he needs to affect the game in other ways? I got a newsflash, Ayton. You got to score some points, man. Like you can't put up 6 points in an NBA Finals game when you've done what you've done the entire playoff run up to this point. We need more from Ayton. And Jalen, there's a cliche. The cliche is this, and I know you've heard this a million times. Everyone's heard it a million times. Role players play better at home. And that's exactly what we've seen in both sets of 2 games in this series. Will Phoenix and their role players, the Aytons, the Cam Johnsons, the campaigns, be able to take a 3-2 lead in this series?
Well, I got something that's matter of fact for you, sir.
What's that, Mr.
Whoever
Rose?
win the next game is winning this series. Period, comma. Whoever win the next game is winning this series. And so I believe Phoenix is going to rebound, go home, and find a way to get those role players to play better. But you show Ayton stats. The telling one is 0 for 0 from the free throw line. That means also Giannis is not only defending him, but they're playing him without fouling him, which is huge for a young player to find a way to get yourself going and play yourself into rhythm. But it's going to be a long series. Prepare for a 7-game.
Jalen, it is time for you and I to break something down in detail. Let's go to the table. There were some legends, as you mentioned, watching the game. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Oscar Robinson, and there were some legends watching the game that had nothing to do with the game of basketball. Look at you. Look at you with Dave Chappelle and Chris Tucker.
We talked about doing a comedy bracket, right? Who better to put on our board of directors than 2 legends like this? Dave Chappelle, the icon. Chris Tucker, the icon. In stand-up, in movies, these guys have been doing it for decades. In television, I'm standing between 2 legends in the comedic space, and Jalen and Jacoby will be doing our comedy bracket. Those 2 guys will be part of the consulting team.
Look at the Chappelle Show chain on Dave Chappelle. Look at the Chappelle Show chain. We always talk about championships and banners. He has a championship in his rafters. The Chappelle Show, the greatest television show of
Chris
all
Tucker
time.
too now. Chris Tucker done jumped out there and got 20 million in movies.
Please. Chris Tucker's a legend in his own right, and you too are a legend, Mr. Rose. Russell Wilson. Do you remember when he was complaining about the Seahawks? Well, he says that everything is all good, and he and Pete Carroll are best friends again.
Funny,
do you believe him?
7 days
we'll
can change.
Right
it was all good
this.
just a week ago.
Coming to you live from the Seaport District of New York City and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, do you remember just a couple months ago when Russell Wilson was leaving Seattle and everyone's putting him on the Bears? Well, he's singing a different tune now. Let's listen to the quarterback of the Seahawks.
I would say it's stronger. I mean, I think me and Pete have gotten even closer. Okay. You know, Pete and I, we've always had a great bond, but I think, you know, we got to have a great heart-to-heart, and just me and Coach Carroll's relationship is stronger than ever, and I care about winning. You know, that's what I want to do, and that's always been my focus. That's always been my goal, you know, is to win it all.
The relationship is stronger than ever, Mr. Rose. Do you believe what Russell Wilson is saying?
Let me tell you what helps make the relationship stronger than ever. And the stability and the love that he not only has for his bride, Sierra, and their family. Aaron Rodgers is looking for love, too. We see him on vacation with his lovely bride as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here's the difference in the relationships, boys and girls. Look at the bottom of the screen. One has 4 years, $140 million left on their deal. And the other has no guaranteed money currently on their deal. So absolutely one is at training camp And we know one is going to be playing week 1. And of course, like you said, they should be besties. How would you feel about somebody giving you $140 million? I would love that person.
Yeah.
Hey, you see
You give
that
me
picture of
$140 million. The relationship is great.
Hey, dog, you used to pray to a Larry Bird poster as an infant. I'm doing it as an adult. Okay? Of course he's happy. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't give him the protection that he needs up front. But again, like, Carson is a really nice back. I like him a lot. You know about Metcalf. You know about Lockett. They have good play at tight end. Like, they're stacked. And he's an elite quarterback with mobility. So I believe that at least through this season, they'll figure a way to make it work because they're going to be explosive this year.
But let's not forget how their season ended. Their season ended in a loss to the Rams, who didn't even play Jared Goff. Like, that is how their season ended, and that is what I believe led to this strife. But as you get closer to training camp, as you get closer to the season, everyone's got high expectations, and Russell Wilson will be under center for the Seahawks. There's another quarterback in the NFL that has some interesting things to say, and that is none other than Cam Newton. Him and Bill Belichick, after not making the playoffs, have high expectations for their team. What are your expectations for Cam Newton and the Patriots this season?
I just want to see him be healthy. I remember the first couple of weeks of the season last year when he was running like a high school / collegiate offense almost, where they'd just snap it to him in the shotgun and it'd be like off tackle left or right, to like now actually being able to see him play quarterback and be healthy and be more like the Cam Newton we grew to love. I don't expect him to go back to an MVP level, but you would think having Josh McDaniels, Bill Belichick, the money they spent this offseason in free agency, that they set him up and put him in position to be his best.
Well, here's what he had to say about this season with the Patriots.
You know, as far as the expectations from, you know, what I've expected from Bill and, you know, Josh and those guys, they've been excellent. And, you know, we're just going to keep pushing forward. And there's things that, you know, you can get better at. There are things that, you know I will get better at. And it's just trusting in yourself, trusting in coaching and you know, believing in the process of keeping it all in the wheelhouse.
Jalen, the Bills are in the division. The Dolphins are in the division. Do you think the Patriots can win the AFC East?
Possibly. Like, of course, you want to give Buffalo Bills the edge because they have Josh Allen. But, like, he said something that was really profound when he acknowledged things that he needs to work on, like we all do. I can't ignore also that he threw some balls in the dirt last year.
Yeah,
he threw the ball at some players' ankles last year also. And so that, I'm pretty sure, is what he's talking about, getting back to improving his accuracy. And I think just being healthy and now having a full training camp and a full start of the season, and hopefully he has no COVID issues, to actually see what Cam Newton is made of at this point of his career.
Jalen, all we have been discussing today with the staff is this next topic. It's time for News That Matters. The versus battle to end all versus battle is going down. Madison Square Garden in August. It is Dipset against the Locks. I cannot wait for this. Jalen, who do you have as the favorite going into the battle, Dipset or the Locks?
Hey, dog, let me tell you something. You know how much I miss the purity of groups in rap music. These two historic groups represent the holy grail of everything I love about rap music and hip hop. And so these are my brothers. I'm about to be reaching out to them again. They all been on this show. The Locks have been on the show. Shout to Sheik Luch. Shout to Styles P. Shout to Jada Kiss. You already know what it is. We go get Jim Jones on the show. We got to get Killer Cam on the show. Welcome home, Jewels. And you already know I'm going to be there. You gotta go with me, dog.
I'm gonna be there the
You
day
gotta go
before.
with me, dog.
I'm gonna be there the day. I'm
dog.
gonna camp
I'ma be
out
there, dog. I would
outside
not miss
MSG.
this.
I'm gonna
I
sleep in
will
a
not
tent on
miss
33rd and 8th,
this.
just waiting for this to happen. I cannot wait, and I also can't wait to preview Game 5.